Pompey Sound. Update. The latest from Fratton Park. On the hour, every hour. Fueled by Piglet's Pantry. Click pigletspantry.co.uk to get your fill.
Wrexham, Birmingham, Blackburn Rovers and Portsmouth are all battling to sign Reading star Charlie Savage, sources have told Football Insider. The Wales international is also attracting interest from abroad after establishing himself as one of the most exciting young players in the EFL. Reading value the creative midfielder in the £2 million bracket. The 22-year-old was one of the standout performers in League One last season, registering the second most assists in the league as Reading finished just outside the playoff places in 7th. A product of Man United's youth academy, Savage, son of ex-Premier League regular Robbie, was viewed as an integral part of Reading's push for promotion from League One last season. The Leicester-born youngster featured in 45 of their 46 league fixtures and made north of 50 first-team appearances in all competitions. While the football played at the Select Car Leasing Stadium has taken a back seat of late, thanks to owner Dai Yong's conflict with supporters around the sale of the club, Savage has provided a welcome distraction. Wrexham are understood to have a huge £30 million transfer kitty this summer following promotion last season, their third in just 3 seasons. The Welsh club's Hollywood-based owners have authorised a massive spend on signings after being promoted from League One to the Championship.
Yeah, I don't want to pull rank or anything, but our American owner is much bigger than Wrexham's American owners, all right? They're not in the same league as Michael Eisner, financially or in terms of their media knowledge and clout and their success. I mean, Michael Eisner's success is up there with Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and what's his name, the Amazon bloke, him. He's up there with them. These boys are B-movie pixies compared to our American owner, and yet the story is they've got £30 million to spend, and so they're coming a-calling for this son of Robbie Savage. We all who are old enough remember Robbie Savage, a man with a quiff, a big quiff, a Dan Dare quiff, a Roy of the Rovers quiff of hair, and a bit of a swagger about him. He was sort of the man who they'd summon in if Vinnie Jones wasn't fit. That sort of a player. He was a good player, but he was he took no prisoners, or at least wanted to appear to take no prisoners. I'm absolutely certain that he's a good man and a good father and a good colleague and all the rest of it. Now, as for his boy, what's his boy's career then? He's with Reading, but Reading are going through financial difficulties and problems with the owner. And whilst we don't wish ill on any of our contemporary clubs, the clubs that we are rivals with, because that's not cricket, at the same time, if we benefit from it, then amen to all of that. And it looks as though he might be off because at 22 and with a tremendous pedigree, a famous dad, a great season at Reading, a background with Manchester United, although that's not what it was, but it's still, better than coming through the ranks of Altrincham. No offence to Altrincham. £2 million could be a snip. If there is a snip to be had, you can be sure that Rich Hughes and the recruitment team will find it, because everywhere you read now, Portsmouth are as good, if not better, than anybody else at finding players who are better than they are valued by the rest of the EFL. And we find them, and we mould them, and we shape them, and we groove them, and we hone them, and we bring out the best in them. We bring out things in them that they may not even know they had. So one of the things they'll be looking at, if Pompey are seriously looking at the boy Savage, Charlie Savage, is, can he develop? Is he the finished article? Is he somebody who wants to get better? Is he somebody who's got the intelligence, the capacity to learn, the ability to listen and understand? It seems likely that those are the things that the recruitment team at Pompey look for alongside raw footballing ability, which is a crucial thing, by the way. You've got to be able to play the game. You've got to be fast. You've got to be strong. You've got to have the necessary skills. You've got to have the mindset for it. But if you also have the capacity to kick on and go forward, then you're the kind of player that Pompey will see if they can get for the price of a packet of fags. Not encouraging smoking by saying that, by the way. It's a term of speech. I want to bring you a very interesting tidbit. because due to the fact that we were unbeaten in the last 5 games of the season that's just ended, then people started to say, well, it's been sorted out. They're sorted out. They know what they're doing. And it's not a roller coaster anymore. We're skiing sedately downhill or travelling successfully uphill to higher heights. And there does seem to be around the place, amongst Pompey fans and also journalists covering Pompey, and we get the sense of it at Pompey as well, that next season things will be fine and we will aim for a solid mid-table experience, something that we can build on the following season, or with some certitude the season after that, and maybe make our play to be in the top flight. But here comes some cold water. You standing by? It's from no more or less a source than one of the world's biggest bookmakers, Betfair. They've published their odds for the English Championship for the season beginning on Friday the 8th of August at 8 o'clock. It's the table of who's going to win. And they've got the usual suspects up at the top. At 5.5, Ipswich are head of affairs, followed by that lot down the road at 7.2. Then you've got Sheffield United, which is interesting. And then you've got Birmingham, who we all expect to buy their way towards the playoffs. And then you start looking down for Portsmouth at around about 10th. No sign of us. So then you start going down a little bit further. Still no sign of us. And then you eventually, I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of sad tidings, but eventually you get to the bottom. And we're down at the bottom. The bookmakers think we're going to finish third to last. That flies in the face of everything that we've been hearing over the last couple of months. Once safety was assured with 2 games to go, we only looked upwards. The bookies simply don't see it that way. They've got Oxford United firmly anchored down at the bottom. Charlton firmly anchored down at the bottom, with Oxford just above them. And then, in joint third to last place, they've got Preston, QPR and Portsmouth. They think there's a 33% chance that we'll finish third to bottom and be relegated. Now, what do we make of that? With all the tub thumping that we've been hearing, with all the chest beating and loud and proud messages that we're going to more than match most of the sides, certainly match most of the sides in the Championship in this coming season. And we believe it. We believe our own PR. We're not going to be spending very much money. Certain clubs, it seems, are going to be spending, by comparison, a small fortune. And we've managed to persuade ourselves that we're going to be more than all right. We might even threaten for a playoff place. Well, they call it a reality check. It's a cliche, so I don't like to use it, but I'd call it more a bucket of water. Betfair are saying that Portsmouth will finish joint third to last with QPR and Preston next season. Now, there's not been an awful lot of money bet on this market. It's still only a 4-figure sum, but people are placing the bets. People are going along with the way that Betfair have laid out the season. And I don't want to puncture it. I don't want to rain on anyone's parade. But maybe we should be that optimist who carries a raincoat and look forward with hopes and dreams to the coming season, but also be aware that, as is so often the case with Pompey over the last 2 or 3 seasons, we are just a couple of injuries away from asking a reserve player or even an academy player to step onto the plate. So next season will be exciting one way or another. Let's hope it's the way we want. The transfer window is now, 2 days old? We are at Tuesday evening, looking at Wednesday morning, and so far the signature sound of this transfer window is silence or tumbleweed. Nothing doing. No players going anywhere, no players coming from anywhere, nothing doing, absolutely nothing doing, except in the weird and wacky world of managers, as we used to call them. I still don't like calling them head coaches. They are more than that. I prefer the word manager. I don't like gaffer. I don't mind boss, but head coach just doesn't feel right. Doesn't give them the status that they deserve. Doesn't elevate them above their players, which is very important. That the boss is seen as the boss and is seen as the manager. Manager means in charge of everything. Head coach means he puts the cones out. So I go with manager. But the merry-go-round of managers in this close season is absurd. We're getting used to the fact that John Mousinho is now the longest-serving manager in the Championship. And pretty soon it will be by a big distance. Look at what's going on at the moment. Sergej Jakirovic, who I believe is Bosnia-Serbian, is talking to Hull, who fired their manager as soon as he secured them their place in the Championship, at our gaff, if you remember. QPR have been turned down by former Norwich boss Johannes Thorup, who flew over and met them in West London. I know where they met them because the QPR people always do their socialising with bigwigs in what used to be the West London Air Terminal. And also that means that you can nip to Heathrow Airport in next to no time and be back home on the continent 3/4 of an hour after you've said, no thanks, I'm not interested, which is what happened. And this, of course, is after QPR put their then manager, Marty Cifuentes, on gardening leave. All these names of people who are in, out, shake it all about. Michael Carrick is off to Spurs. That's just a rumour. But there's some substance in it. Spurs are going to need a new manager. He hasn't done too badly. He used to be a Spurs player. Those who are expert are saying that he's made for the job. So he might be off, in which case Middlesbrough will be looking for a new manager. Southampton have appointed Will Still as their manager. And Paolo Pezzolano replaces Tom Cleverley at Watford. All of these managerial changes, doesn't it indicate that owners just really are clutching at straws time and time again? Give it 3 weeks, and if they haven't got 6 points out of those 3 games or 4 games, then they're under a cloud. Give it 3 months, the rumblings will rumble on, turn into thunder and lightning, and sacked on the Monday, sacked in the morning. It can't be good for the game. It might be good for Pompey, because hopefully we're in it for the long term with John Mousinho, and that's only a good thing because he's good. His team are good. He's building a good structure. And he says he's going to stay loyal to the Eisners because the Eisners gave him his chance. Isn't it refreshing in this day and age of managerial merry-go-rounds and people having no loyalty whatsoever to the club? And fans feel that. They feel that. You know, the people who run Hull City it seems to me, be hardly more removed from understanding the world of Hull and indeed England than they are running the entire caboodle from Turkey. No offence to Turkey whatsoever. Turkey's no more foreign than California. But our guys are over here and they're in touch and they watch the games on iFollow if they're not actually here. So we've got ourselves a great setup. We must never forget that. And as for the stuff that's going on elsewhere in the Championship, we feel for those managers who are being booted out, often unfairly, and then have to go scrabbling around for another job because they've got a wife and family and mortgage and all the rest of it. We feel for them, but those kind of shenanigans can only be useful in this coming season to Pompey because we will be playing teams who are less than stable. And I haven't even got started on Sheffield Wednesday. Oh, there's another day, Sheffield Wednesday. Still, we're all right.